super chat. What I would say is that you should evaluate what you think the chances are of and what the price that it's being offered to you, and also consult with your direct financial advisors on this stuff if you have one, because they're going to be able to talk to you about it as well. Kristen Brown, do you think Microsoft's relationship with Sony changes once this deal concludes? Bridges may have been burned. I think this is an unhealthy atmosphere for the video game community. I think that they are fighting, and I suspect they will be fighting more openly as we head into the end of the year. And as a guy that just loves games and loves my PlayStation and loves my Xbox and loves my Switch, I don't like this. I don't think it's very fruitful to see them fighting in this particular manner. And I do think the people that come out and say Sony's arguments are a bit specious, they're a bit hollow when they made their money doing exclusives for 2 decades.
How trifling.
I don't think they're wrong. And so
what is it?
What I will say on this, I'm a corporate lawyer, right? I'm a business guy by trade. I've been doing it for almost 20 years. Generally speaking, if there's money to be made, if there's a pie to grow, if there's advantage,
no waves can sink this ship,
or otherwise working with your competitor in some fashion that's legal, that will out. That will find a way. Money finds a way in the world of business. So while I do think, in all probability, there are actually emotions being triggered at both of these companies at this point in time, once the dust
this
has
is
settled,
not what we stood for.
Who knows? Grudges can be held in the world of corporations. It's not limited just to people. Ryan McLeod, why doesn't Microsoft highlight the tons of dormant Sony shooter IPs that could compete with Call of Duty? Killzone, SOCOM, Resistance for me. Sony's got complacent with their Call of Duty revenue. Maybe. Well, look, I have skimmed through the Microsoft document. One of the reasons we're doing the virtually obvious now is that I will.
My calculations, you need to chill out.
We are just going to have a conversation. It's going to be a first look type video. And so I don't know exactly what Microsoft has said in that document, other than the things that have been flagged for me with like pictures on Twitter. So we'll definitely be talking about that. I think it's an argument you can make. Look, we've got all this IP ready to go. Sony could respond by saying, yeah, because this isn't Call of Duty, which isn't wrong. Question. So we need it in all caps because I'm going to miss these, especially when we're on the fly. Would they be able to make some stipulation that the deal can go through, but content from Activision is blocked from Game Pass at least day and date, or must be put on PlayStation Plus? So whenever you start to get into a stipulation that would involve Sony's accession, that they would have to agree to something, you've got problems because Sony's not in front of these various tribunals or regulatory bodies. But yes, in general, if it satisfies the CMA or the FTC or the EC or whoever, then it's satisfied.
I command the icy death.
Scenes if the FTC says we not broadcast like these concessions.
Steady the sails.
And yeah, it could absolutely be. Well, okay, Activision can't go on Game Pass for 5 years, regardless of what the contract says. Whatever the CMA or the FTC might think is justified, and what Microsoft is willing to live with. That's the real politic here. And so, yeah, they can ask for whatever they want. Dad Hogue, Papa Hogue, wow. Hogue Law, anytime. Thumbs up. You don't have to super chat with me, Dad. You can just come say hi. But I love you very much. Thank you for the super chat and the support. Everborn Saga, Microsoft. They're basically saying it's incompetent or worse. We saw that from the kind of summary stuff. There has to be a strategy here. I just don't see it. You know, the presentation, as I said, is of a Microsoft that thinks that the CMA might already be right. They are trying to control other regulatory bodies, and they view the CMA as a full-on enemy participant at this point in time. Is the best way that I can make logical sense out of it. Because just going and having a bear that can eat you at any time that it wants and poking it repeatedly is an odd move. Of course, if you're Microsoft and you have a couple $1 trillion, you might be operating a little bit differently than Hope. Gold Shell, could Microsoft sway the CMA Phase 2 better than Phase 1? They certainly hope so. It's a different group of people. It's got a little bit more expert folks that are supposed to be looking at this. They are also the Phase 2 people, but that's just a hope, as we'll see in a minute.
No waves can sink this ship.
In general, and they failed to do so. Buck, Frustrated with your analysis sometimes. Happy to have you here. I appreciate the super chat. As I see a lot of Sony hypocrisy, but we need you on this, Hogue. Okay. Well, that's fair. I will tell you, I am fans of both products. I am not always fans of both corporations. I think these companies are led by humans, and they can all make mistakes, and they do quite often. So that is certainly it's an acceptable criticism. I think certainly if I see Sony making complaints and I don't immediately dismiss them, or vice versa, that can get frustrating. And as I say here, reasonable minds can differ. That's always going to be okay. Everborn Saga, if Sony can get this deal blocked, what does that do to their relationship with Activision? They want this deal, plus their stock would tank if it fails. Yeah, their stock is already kind of, we're getting a little bit weak.
You wish to match wits with me?
I don't know. Like I said, money generally outs. So if Sony can become a leader, if Activision can make money putting products on their service, they might grit their teeth and secretly call them names when they get off the conference call explaining their marketing. But they
it isn't often I'm impressed.
Corporation. Ralden Blade, can you see Microsoft money hatting most of the industry, doing a Sony to a Sony, big bank, take little bank? If this deal just gets shut down and they just suddenly have $70 billion in cash, I could see them just signing every exclusive that they possibly can away from Sony and doing it that way. Certainly that kind of deal making are not looked upon as strongly as a full-on merger in this space and others that you actually have specific statutes that cover talking about mergers. And so, yeah, Microsoft, if they're willing to open their pocketbook, has a lot of muscle it can throw around should they decide to do so. Question, do you think it could escalate to the point of Microsoft retiring Windows Office from the United Kingdom? To be frank on this, $70 billion is a lot of money. It's not necessarily a driving force behind a multiple $trillion-dollar company. So Microsoft's bread is not yet, at least completely, buttered by video gaming. Now, if they felt that there was some weakness at the regulatory level in the UK or the government level, and that they could pressure them with a kind of short-term strike of some important Microsoft products or services.
Insanity is no excuse for bad manners.
The enterprise software side of things. So I don't see it happening. It's not for Activision, Blizzard, and Call of Duty. Michael Mooney asks, could Microsoft try to force Sony to buy Call of Duty for an amount that Sony can't spend as a solution to Sony's demands?
I can take
I mean, the hypothetical here is that CMA says have Activision, have to spin off Call of Duty. And then Microsoft says, fine, we'll sell Call of Duty for $14 billion out of that $70 billion that we would have already spent. And Sony doesn't have the cash reserves or ability to go and get it. And so they wouldn't be able to do that. Now, I think you would see through that. At least, again, we're imagining the situation where the CMA has some kind of justifiable reason to even do this. And so I don't necessarily see that happening. Now, if they just have to put it up on an open market and say Tencent,
I have an idea.
Racer Group buys it, or Epic Games buys it, something along those lines. I don't know that we've made the video game world a better place, but it's possible it could happen. Question: is Goff going to be good for 400 from the sky and 6 touchdowns this weekend? I'll take some of what you're having, Gaston. He is, of course, referring to the Detroit Lions quarterback, and we have not had a lot of success in Lions fandom. So I'm glad you have that sense of optimism. I don't see that one happening. Ralden, I see the end of a relationship with Sony and Activision. Short term, maybe. Medium term, gets a little bit wishy-washy. Long term, no. If there's money to be made, they will find a way to make it. I promise. Outbreak asks, can I
Time has come to dethrone our former master.
We'll see. I'm really, really busy. If you were on my Twitter, you just saw I'm for the Escapists. So we just put an article up on that this morning. I'm obviously doing a lot of videos. We've got whatever this is, number 6 for this week, I think, maybe. So I appreciate it. DM me. Maybe we can work something out. Ralden, another question. Never mess with rich people with money. $70 billion of cash on hand. Well, I mean, you don't want to just yield to super rich corporations, but it's certainly something you have to take. All right. We're caught up. I want to hit with this documentation. So let's see if we can hit those buttons. First and foremost, I did see this covered a little bit. So this was one of my responses. Tom Warren of The Verge, great reporter. Check out his stuff. Said and linked to the version of the Microsoft response to the CMA's findings that we'll be using today. And I said, hey, look, folks are tagging me.
If my calculations are correct.
A lot of tags on this stuff. And I said, it's a more technical version of the MS responses.
His reign ends now.
Let me remind you who you're dealing with.
And a number of folks sent me like DMs and things and said, well, I don't understand. I want to clarify this just a little bit, and we can talk about it with the way the U.S. sees things. Right? I'm an American lawyer, and the way this functions is that if you've got a problem with the CMA,
I have an
and you
idea.
ask for their competition tribunal to look at it. Now, tribunal's not a word
Rest
very often
easy,
in
child.
American law,
You
but I can
are
tell you that it gets
safe now.
resolved here in a way I think is accurate. It has a UK court. When that tribunal decided that the CMA was allowed to block the Facebook Giphy deal, here's Bloomberg law, very common source. UK court agrees that CMA can squash Bennett Giphy merger. And what are they referring to there? That's the Competition Appeal Tribunal. So this is a litigatory process, and you can look at various aspects of the UK
Succumb
statute.
to the eternal
Among other things, judges is nominated by the Chief Justice. Judges nominated from the Lord President of the Court in Session. Judges from the Lord Chief Justice of Northern Ireland. Other members. And while that doesn't mean that everybody is a judicial member, it does wind up with documents that look very much like this, right? This looks pretty litigatory to me. This is the process of going to the tribunal, applicant, respondent, interveners. And if we actually look at the Giphy deal, this is really important to our conversation with Microsoft, and that is that the standard of review here is very low. Now, if you haven't been to law school, you might not be familiar with the phrase standard of review. I do not blame you. But it basically means at what level of scrutiny are we going to look at this deal? While we are acting as a, however you want to frame it,
not all of them.
Litigation concept. I'm not going to tell you, especially if you live in the UK, what to think about your tribunal. But it certainly looks like litigation, and that's what I was referring to when I was commenting on Tom Warren's post. And here's what
You think this is your time? It is mine.
We'll take a little more of the substance of this in just a
I
second.
can't take
A
them.
broad discretion is conferred
Not all
on
of
the CMA in crafting remedies in relation to completed mergers. Subsection 2 applies where a report of the CMA has been prepared and published, and the CMA shall take such action under various sections to remedy, mitigate, or prevent the substantial lessening of competition concerns, and to remedy, mitigate, or prevent any adverse effects which have resulted from or may be expected to result from the substantial lessening of competition. The CMA can take whatever it wants. For purposes of this ground, we proceed on the basis that the decisions regarding the vertical and horizontal combinations are unimpeachable and the remediation ordered is in relation to both. We also note, and this was not disputed by Meta, that Section 41 confers a wide and this went so far as for the tribunal to mandate, among other things, that not only has to sell Giphy, they have to capitalize it with $75 million. Not only did they spend $400 million buying it, they don't get to keep it. They have to sell it for whatever
This
they
is
can.
your time. It is mine.
Into it.
I
And
will never serve,
that's
but
rational,
you shall.
right? If you actually go and you look at the summary of how the tribunal looks at these things at a level, you see this word rationally. You see this word not irrational. So Meta and Facebook went and says the CMA this is based on a concept called dynamic competition that the CMA was basically using to say, well, it might not hurt this
Cast
specific
the
market,
darkness
this
from
specific
your heart.
other market this way, kind of hypothesizing certain things, and the tribunal basically said, it's not irrational. The CMA correctly directed itself to test.
Now we rise.
The CMA acted rationally in order to put itself in a position to apply the substantially lessening of competition test. The CMA's conclusion as to counterfactual are unassailable. The CMA has broad and wide discretion in crafting remedies in relation to completed mergers, and the remedies ordered by the CMA were not irrational. That's legalese. or not absolutely insane. And if the standard that the Competition Appeal Tribunal the CMA's evaluation, including the one that we're talking about here today, and the standard was not
Your time has come!
very unlikely that the tribunal would overturn substantively what the CMA finds in this case, which is one of the reasons why, as you look at these things operating in conjunction and you get a headline like Facebook owner Meta has to sell.
You will be crushed beneath the endless tide!
You are quickly and you are coming out swinging. You're on and that's part and parcel to we're going to come out hard. Do I agree with that strategy? I don't know what they're looking at behind the scenes, but they have certainly gone out with a very, very, very aggressive strategy to try to justify their deal. And before we start talking a little bit about what happened with Facebook and Giphy and comparing it to what's happening with Activision, let's hit a few more of your questions. They got a conflict of interest with Sony. The reason why they're trying to scrutinize Microsoft and Activision when it comes to Sony. No, I don't think we have any reason to believe. I know people on Twitter and social media like to claim that it's corrupt or it's otherwise related to Sony in some fashion. I don't think we have any reason to believe that right now. We certainly don't have any factual basis. Who knows what will come out in the future? But I think that's a bridge too far. It's a little bit too far of an assumption for where we are right now.
To all who sought to kill me.
Raiden Blade, sorry, Hogue. I mean, don't mess with rich people and their money, i.e., Activision shareholders looking forward to that cash buyout of $70 billion. I get it. Yeah, Activision and its shareholders really want to get that sale done, especially as the market in general collapses and the economy. And so, yeah, they've got a locked-in deal price from January this year, which is starting to look more and more good as tech companies take that, things like that. They want to get this deal done. And Microsoft wants to get this deal done as well. They're at least defending the billions of dollars in penalties that would happen if a regulator stopped them. They would have to pay back any. That's also got the never mess with rich people, conflict of interest, and rich people and their money. So I think we're covered on that. So let's talk about for just a minute. And I promise you, we're going to get to those actual topics. And Microsoft, we just have a little housekeeping to do before that happens. This deal is important. Because this is when the CMA originally acted against it. But this only happened realistically in the last week, and is one of the things we're going to try to tell as we look through all this. So, UK Competition Watchdog orders Facebook owners to sell GIF website Giphy, and what is happening there is the biggest item. The regulator said Meta could cut off the supply of GIF to life or demand more user data from the £7 billion UK display advertising market, the biggest player accounting for about half the market. And I highlighted that because the best differentiator of this particular deal, Giphy and Meta, from what we're talking about with respect to Microsoft and Activision, is finding a market where Microsoft will.
It is an awesome island.
Now, at the time, Facebook and Meta disagreed with the decision. We are options include appeal. Both consumers and Giphy are better off with the support of our infrastructure, talent, and resources. Together, Meta and Giphy would enhance Giphy's product for the millions of people, businesses, developers, and partners in the UK and around the world who use Giphy every day, providing more choices for everyone. Does that sound like any messaging that we've heard in the past? Similarly, they also said the UK regulator is engaging in extraterritorial overreach, following up with blocking the deal to buy Giphy, which is based in New York and does not have operations in the UK at all.
Kael'thas versus Jaina.
You asked for it.
It is good to see you, Jaina.
I see you've brought guests.
Power! Glorious power!
The Queen's power is beyond your comprehension.
I could have sworn it went back together. A smidge of this, a pinch of that.
My calculations, you need to chill out!
Observe, analyze, engage.
done.
A smidge of this, a pinch of that.
No waves can sink this ship!
I can take him. Wait! Not all of them!
Birds to a crisp.
Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello.
Error. Hot bucket.
Steady the sails!
Birds to a crisp.
Someone get aggro! Someone get aggro!
You wish to match wits with me?
A smidge of this, a pinch of that.
Wonderful. Just wonderful. I need more study.
Balthus versus Jaina.
You asked for it.
It is good to see you, Jaina.
I see you've brought guests.
Hello.
More meat. More meat.
What a conundrum.
I can't take them. Wait! Not all of them!
You can't always trust what you see.
Someone get aggro!
Explore his power!
Scorched in fiery waves!
Let's muddy the waters.
The Queen's power is beyond your comprehension.
Kael'thas versus Gul'dan.
Your soul shall be mine!
The power of evil cannot be matched.
I see you've brought guests.
Hello.
I greet you.
Powers beyond your comprehension.
Job's done.
A smidge of this, a pinch of that.
Trifling.
Two is company.
These books are ruined.
We have plotted long enough. Now we rise!
Job's done.
No snitching.
Power! Glorious power!
Two is company.
Bow before your queen!
from a lord!
Job's done. Job's done.
These books are ruined.
All this power is mine to wield.
Job's done.
Let's wreak some havoc!
These books are ruined.
Fire consume you!
Are you little?
I only fight the best. Arthas versus Denathrias!
Let your penance begin.
The power of evil cannot be matched.
I see you've brought guests. I see you've brought guests.
Job's done. Job's done.
The time has come to dethrone our former master.
The wails of these cowards chill me.
Job's done.
Insanity is no excuse for bad manners. Stop this snowstorm!
I can take them. Wait! Not all of them!
fated story? Loot! Ultimate Potem! The time has come to dethrone our former master. His reign ends now!
No force on Azeroth can stop me!
I only fight the best. And you qualify.
Merely a setback.
Kael'thas versus Gul'dan.
Mine is the only way.
The power of evil cannot be matched.
I see you've brought guests.
Hello.
Job's done.
Now the look on their face.
No waves can sink this ship!
Job done. Job done.
Impossible.
No waves can sink this ship! You need to chill out!
What secrets will uncover?
Let the ritual of absolution commence.
insufficient mana.
Cool.
Almost out of time.
forces, Gul'dan!
I will not be denied!
The power of evil cannot be matched!
I see you've brought guests.
Glorious power!
Embrace darkness.
Don't even think of giving me a redemption arc.
When we were a motorized bicycle company, they said, you'll never be more than that. What will they say next? Honda, the power of dreams.
Of these caverns chill.
You cannot understand the purpose.
These books are ruined.
The purpose.
Time has come to dethrone our former master.
Not impressed.
A toast to all who sought to kill me. A toast to all who sought to kill me.
A little fire never hurt nobody.
Obviously, I never miss.
Finally! Minions that obey me! Mostly.
Our plan is for pelicans.
Glorious power! fight the best. And you qualify.
You wish to match wits with me?
The Queen's power is beyond your comprehension.
Job's done.
I will never!
It isn't often I'm impressed.
Fall. Succumb to the eternal cold.
of evil cannot be matched.
Ah, I see you've brought guests.
Hello. Power! Glorious power! I only fight the best. And you qualify. Glorious power!
By my calculations, you need to chill out!
take him.